Hey, this is Eric Walker for Disciples Heart. This message, this video is directed directly to Jim Carrey. I have seen videos. I'd seen the video of, and by the way, my prayer is that this finds its way to you, Jim. And I'd seen some documentaries. I just actually watched the documentary about Jim and Andy, and I've seen some of your interviews. I have not gone through the things you've gone through. I've gone through my own. We're all on this amazing journey. And I agree with you on so many points, man. I really appreciate your transparency. A lot of people say the same thing, and they see that you're struggling along with all of us, but you also have come to some very clear truths that you know are very obvious to you now, because until we reach that place, it's not obvious to us. It's kind of like, let me ask you this real quick. This is how I try to explain how we can miss what is obvious to ourselves when it's as plain as the nose on our face, right? Can't see the forest, spot the trees or whatever. But let me ask you this, okay? If you're in the room with me right now, just kind of go with me just 1 second so I can give you an exploded view of how we can miss something that can be right in front of us, and how we can be rejecting the truth that is screaming from the hilltops and is so obvious to some, the very few. Me being one of them. Not to say that I have obtained all knowledge, because I don't. I know the one who has all the knowledge, and that's what makes you and I different, Jim, and anybody else who hears this video. And I'll explain more. If you want to continue this dialogue, please email me. Before I go on to it, disciplesheart1@gmail.com, and that's disciplesheart, the digit 1 @gmail.com. You can look for more contact info below in the low bar. But say you're in this room and we're sitting here on the couch and we're talking. We just got through, enjoying a beer or kicking back. We just got through watching a favorite movie. Went out. We're chilling at the house or whatever. And I say to you, hey, would you get me that book? And of course, your obvious question, dangling question mark in the air is going to be, what book? The bookshelf has about 15, 20 books on it. There's a book over here on my desk. There's other books different places, right? And you can guess that, hey, I'm talking about the Bible, or I'm talking about another book that I have titled here, one about real estate, another about internet marketing, one about prayer, whatever it might be. But the question is, what book? So until you know what book, you're going to have no clue what I'm asking you to do. And it's going to until I explain to you what book, you're not going to have any clue what the next step is. You're going to be like, okay, I can, this one, it's going to waste time. It's going to frustrate you. It's going to frustrate me, when I can simply say that book titled, I don't want to mention titles because I'm not trying to plug any books here, but that book right there about how to pray, really well, or whatever, just something off the top of my head. So until I say that book titled X by X author, right? You're not going to have a clue, and you're going to be perpetually wondering what book, right? If we never got to that part of the conversation, or I didn't say that particular book. It would be tormenting for us both if it was perpetuated and I didn't say that book. Now, here's the cool thing about all that, is that if you go back to read a particular book in the Bible, Matthew and other Gospels, it says Yeshua, or Jesus, came into the world, and he was the light. He was the Word made manifest, and he is the light of the world. He came in to expose the works of darkness and to shine as a light, and the truth as the way, the truth, and the life. But people did not love the truth because their deeds were evil, because what they loved was the pleasure of sin and temporary pleasures. So he came to say, here's the book. He said, I'm the book. I'm showing you what all the law means. And lots of people can paraphrase and continue on this conversation, but he is that missing link. He is the answer to the question of which book. He is the actual literal book that was living, walked on the face of this earth, and was rejected by most because they did not love the truth. And anyone that doesn't love the truth doesn't know him and will never know him until we humble ourselves to know the truth and to connect with those who do know him as you know yourself, or to the best of your ability know yourself, or others even. And I believe I heard you in the couple of the interviews, you said, how can you really know someone? You can't know someone completely because we are infinite, right? We're made in God's image, and I believe you know this, but based on some of the different mixed doctrine and wisdom that you've gotten, because there's a godly wisdom and there's a dark wisdom, because the dark wisdom is like a copycat facsimile of God's, but it's twisted and it's dark and it is distorted. I'm running out of time on my video, but it is not the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Satan comes disguised as an angel of light. I could go on and on. I'm about to run out of video. My battery's running down on my phone. But listen, reach out. Let's continue this dialogue. Man, I am praying for you. And anybody else who hears this, you guys chime in. I really appreciate it. Check the low bar for information. Love you guys. Talk soon, Jim.